former model's murder in Georgia has left law enforcement stumped. Investigators found little evidence left at the scene, and now they are turning to the public for help with this mystery. On tomorrow's 48 Hours, Erin Moriarty investigates the clues so maybe you can help solve the case.
Why are you talking to me?
I'm talking to you because I want to find out who murdered my sister.
In May 2008, Pam Sleeper's sister, Kay Wennell, was brutally murdered inside her suburban Atlanta home. Kay was the wife of Hal Wennell, a successful real estate developer, and at the age of 60, she was still turning heads the way she always did.
She's gorgeous, isn't she? Full of life, just a little sweetheart.
Everyone seemed to love Kay, which made her murder all the more shocking. It's a mystery that has stumped everyone from the local police to a team of private investigators Hal Wennell hired to help solve this case. So can this be solved?
Oh, I think it can.
I think it was right over in this area is where the first encounter happened.
Investigators believe Kay let her killer inside her home and was immediately assaulted. She was able to run to the kitchen where he caught her.
And then cut her neck.
It was a violent attack, and yet the killer left little physical evidence. Kay's husband, Hal, had an alibi, and there was no indication that Kay was having an affair. All police had was this, a sketch of a stranger seen in the Wennells' neighborhood. A neighbor described to police a man he saw the day before the murder and on the very afternoon Kay was killed.
And he sees the same guy walking toward Wennell's house, right about the time they believe that the homicide occurred.
And then, nearly 3 months after Kay was killed, police were handed another clue, both tantalizing and perplexing, an expletive-filled cut-and-paste letter.
She said she left me, but that was a lie, too. I told her this would happen.
Former FBI profiler Mary Ellen O'Toole agreed to examine the letter for us and says in her experience, writers of cut-and-paste notes tend to be women.
I've seen them written by teenage girls. I've seen them written by middle-aged women. You could have somebody that wrote the letter and then someone that came into the home. People who think they get away with murder sigh a big sigh of relief when years go by. But this program is going to make them very nervous.
Erin Moriarty is with us now. Erin, good morning.
This is a new one for me, okay? The cut and paste letter. This is just a copy of it. The real thing.
Takes a lot of time to do
It
that.
does. All the little letters cut out. And I think what's really interesting about that, particularly in light of the profiler who says, and when you read this, it does sound like it was a woman.
She told me she hated her house.
Yeah. Here you are, you're claiming responsibility for a murder, and you mentioned this, although that is actually true. She did hate her house, so it's someone who knew her. But it also probably means that there were 2 people involved, because the crime, I mean, I saw Charlie kind of cringe when he heard her throat was slit, and investigators believe it was probably a male who did it, but if a woman wrote this, then there had to be 2 people.
So they're asking viewers for help. They want us to do what?
Well, of course, if they remember seeing anyone cutting and paste, but also that sketch.
Okay.
That man who was seen in the neighborhood.
All right. Thank you, Erin.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
And you can see Erin's full report, Solve This Case, Who Killed Kay Wennell. That's tomorrow night on 48 Hours, and it begins at 10, 9 Central, right here on CBS.